Welcome to the Reddit library. What do you genuinely not understand? People who take personal offense when your taste in music / movies / food / whatever differs from theirs. I went to college with a guy who listened to exclusively classic rock. Great genre, totally get it. Except he would get legitimately angry when someone put on rap in the car or wanted to sing pop at karaoke. Refused to work with a friend of mine in a group project because she loved techno, said her opinions would never matter because obviously something was wrong with her. Why can't you just let people enjoy the hit they like? It's a form of elitism that makes themselves feel better and more cultured or intelligent than the people around them. It's dumb. I mean, look at the other comments on this post about people liking celebrities. It's the same hit. An extremely elitist friend of mine in high school got me into metal. Told me what genres and subgenres were good. Being a young dude in high school with limited friends, I quickly picked up on being an elitist. Listening to my superior music at full volume, playing it out loud on the bus, etc. And then I listened to one of the genres he said not to, and I really liked it. I didn't say anything, but I listened to it more and more. Eventually I saw a Reddit post and a guy was calling out an elitist metalhead and saying, you like what you like. Music is great. It's so varied and so wonderful. It doesn't matter if you like some obscure black metal and One Direction. Still relevant at the time. All that matters is that you listen to what you enjoy. And that got me to stop being an elitist a-hole. I now have musical taste ranging from everything from old country to rap to hardstyle to death metal. And it's great. There's so much out there. Stop hitting on others for 2 seconds and find something new to enjoy. How so many ducking terrible commercials make it to TV. When I see a dumb commercial, my thought is always the same. A group of grown-up people sat around a table somewhere and discussed how they want to promote their brand. They came up with an entire marketing strategy, probably had a vote about it, and sent approval onto the marketing department / company for production. That marketing department created, scripted, filmed, and produced that piece of hit commercial. Then they sent it back to the group of grown-up people who sat around the same table watching the hitty commercial before agreeing that it's sending the exact message they want about their brand. They likely then vote again to approve running it on TV. A huge budget is approved for putting that dumb commercial out there, and the result is the piece of crud I just saw on TV. Yeah, I don't understand that. I'm a physics teacher, and I'm embarrassed to say that despite reading several explanations, I still don't understand how batteries work, specifically if one end of the battery basically houses excess electrons and the positive side has a dearth of electrons. Why doesn't connecting two batteries, but not in a closed circuit, cause half of each battery to drain? I'm not a battery expert, but I'll take a stab. It's not true that one terminal of a battery has excess electrons, while the other terminal has a deficit of electrons. They are both charge neutral. Batteries have an anode and a cathode separated by an electrolyte. As the battery is discharged to power something, not only do electrons flow from the anode to the cathode through an external circuit, positively charged ions flow from the anode to the cathode through the electrolyte. The electrons and ions reunite at the cathode. It takes energy to charge up a battery, and we get energy out when it discharges, because the ions and electrons are more chemically stable at the cathode. In a lithium-ion battery, the kind I'm most familiar with, the anode is unusually graphite. The cathode is a lithium metal oxide. In the charged up state, the lithium atoms are stored in the layers of graphite. They aren't very happy about that, and would prefer to go home to the lithium metal oxide at the cathode. When the anode and cathode are connected through an external circuit, lithium atoms are ionized. The electrons go through the circuit, and the lithium ions diffuse through the electrolyte, and they are reunited at the cathode. When you just connect two batteries together, positive to negative, nothing happens because the anode and the cathode are charge neutral. For electrons to be exchanged, there would have to be a channel for ions to be exchanged too, and there's not. Guys that hit each other in the nuts for fun. WTF is with that? I watched an interview with Steve-O, and he says fans want him to kick them in the nuts, and are so happy and thank him when he does. I think it's more the hitting that's supposed to be fun, not the being hit. Obviously it's a bit different with asking Steve-O 'cause he's famous from Jack A. The person wants a cool story. Steve-O kicked me in the balls. An important note, when hitting your mates in the balls, you're supposed to do it lightly. It's about the reaction, not trying to cause them permanent damage. Of course that might happen accidentally anyway, but people doing it don't generally realize that. My niece hit me in the nuts and I've never wanted to throw an 11-year-old from an 8th floor balcony more in my life. Quantum mechanics. That hit is whack. I was always great at math. Went to college, and I'm a physics major. Motion of objects? Crush it. Relativity? Really interesting. Quantum mechanics? Okay, sure. So I just do the, wait, so this equation represents the, that's not it, okay, what about, no, wrong again. I'm now a lawyer. I've always admired people who are great at maths. Honestly, even simple stuff was hard for me. I speak 4 languages, and learning my 5th, but ask me to do a small logical mathematical problem and I'm lost. When the cashier asks me to give them a cent, so they give me back $1, it's like you could be asking me to ducking disarm a bomb. I'm really jealous of PPL that can learn so many languages. Maths and sciences are my strong points, which is at an average level, but I can't do languages for hit. I've been learning both English and Mandarin since young. Government requires us to, but I've been consistently failing Mandarin and barely passing English. I guess we all want things we don't have. How perfect strangers make small talk, and how they know when to end a conversation without it dragging on awkwardly. When there is a lull in the conversation, just say alrighty, well I need to go to XXXX. I hope you have a great day, and then walk away. The word anyway seems to work to seg to the end of a conversation. I used to be a lawyer, and had 4 steps on my time to finish this consultation ladder. 1. Okay then 2. Okay then again, but this time slapping the table gently with both hands. 3. Stand up. 4. Walk from behind desk, past client and open door. Only one client ever stayed sitting past step 4. It was horrible. I was powerless to defeat him. He stayed another 5 minutes, trying to teach me positive energy moves from his own brand of take-I. Traffic. You sit on the highway driving 3 miles per hour thinking must be a wreck ahead, then you get clear of the traffic and there was never any clear reason or cause for the traffic. People change lanes and those in the new lane have to slow down to accommodate. Snowballs from there. It's a vicious cycle of tailgating and braking suddenly, along with lane changes, as other comments said. I've noticed that when I leave huge gaps, drive slowly to avoid braking if possible, I can cruise at 10 miles per hour through traffic almost never stopping. If everyone did that, I think traffic would be greatly reduced. Regrettably, most people suck. How language developed? Obviously it did, but I just can't fathom how. I just picture cavemen walking and pointing to things and grunting. That's basically it. They made sounds to refer to stuff, and people caught on and used the same sounds and understood through context and repetition what each other meant, and it built and spread from there. I imagine early communication started with things like hey relax, I'm not gonna run, live, you come here, look, food, tasty, animal, danger. All things that are kind of obvious what is intended to convey in context, and with pointing at the thing as you make a sound. Sometimes when I'm just sitting there, I become hyper aware of my senses, and then the whole concept of existence just confuses the duck out of me. Edit. Look mom, no hands. Or when you're brushing your teeth, or washing your face, and you stare at yourself in the mirror too long, and you're just like whoa, this is me. But I'm actually me, and I see me, and you go into a mini existential crisis about you being you, and then you forget it happened. It's like when you're reading a word over and over, and it starts losing all meaning. Except that instead of a word, it's you. Quibi, why do I keep seeing / hearing ads for it everywhere? Are people actually watching these shows? What's the appeal? As far as I can tell, the only reason people are talking about it is that it had huge investors, over $1 billion in startup capital, and it looks like a terrible instant failure in addition to being yet another startup whose entire premise is sidestepping labor laws. Citation needed. I think there is a small chance it could be successful, but I really doubt it. I don't think it's even released yet. It seems like it was a dumb idea that someone overfunded, but then with COVID lockdown, the formerly just embezzling VC money person running it decided it might actually work out. Most of the humor of popular YouTubers. They literally just scream, make dumb faces, and do goofy dances. Don't see how that appeals to anyone over the age of 10. A lot of popular YouTubers are making content for an audience of children. To be fair, I don't understand a child's sense of humor then. Humor has a lot to do with being surprised. Young kids have experienced fewer things, so they are surprised more easily and find that kind of reaction content funnier. Generally speaking, it's also harder to tell fake excitement from real excitement when you're younger, and it's energizing and interesting to see someone excited about something, especially if it's someone you care about at all. People that will flip you off or yell at you when they are the ones doing the wrong thing. One time my daughter was getting off the bus and crossing the street when a car came barreling down the road running the bus stop sign. I ran out into the road in front of my child, held up my hand and screamed stop. The lady flipped me off. Like ducking, seriously. I saved you from unliving a child. My child, and you flip me off. I won't go into the details of what I did next. I wasn't proud. Edit, to add what I did, and some more details. This lady did this a few times a week. I was ready for her. My daughter wasn't the only one crossing. I just had a feeling I would encounter her that day. Okay. So I started screaming at her, because I was in shock that instead of her saying OMG, I'm so sorry, she flipped me off. She continued to flip me off and started screaming at me as I was yelling at her that she would have ran over my daughter. I ran up to her door, where her window was open, and started grabbing at her, trying to pull her out through the window, and at the same time trying to open her door. I was seriously pulling her out as she was trying to get her window up. She finally got her window up and pulled her door back shut. I was screaming curse words and whatever else, I really can't tell you, yelling at her to get out of the car and banging on her window. She finally sped away, and I stood there in the middle of the street, and all the other moms, the bus driver, and a bus full of kids were just staring at me. I felt stupid for cursing in front of all the kids and losing it. The bus driver called me over and said as I was trying to unlive her, he got her license plate and was going to report her. So at least that happened. But yeah, I'm super non-confrontational. But when somebody does something like that, I have no problem going off, I guess.